I'm actually working on one of the most explosive scientific reports ever created in the history of mankind. And I'm not 100% finished with it yet. So I can't go too much into detail about what it is. But just know, stay tuned. And I'm going to blow your mind because I have figured out the source code of reality. I know it sounds crazy, but I actually have the mathematical equations to support my findings. Also, the mathematical probabilities for these mathematical equations and to be coincidental are astronomical. Literally impossible for these mathematical equations to be a coincidence. So for the world to just come from a Big Bang accident and for our entire reality to run in this mathematical construct so perfectly and so in tune with everything else. So basically it deals with the number 7 and like the 7 chakras. It's basically the 7 levels of consciousness. And so we experience 7 levels of consciousness. So we can move. A lot of people are a C1 consciousness. That's consciousness 1. That's basically they're in physical reality. These people see the news and they believe what they see. They don't even question it. They're not even thinking like maybe it's BS. You know, they learn something in school and they're like, yep, that's what it is. And if anybody provides scientific evidence to dispute it, they can literally see the proof that what they learned wasn't actually even true, and they'll still argue because they're in C1 consciousness. And then you can move up to C2 consciousness, and it goes all the way up to C7 consciousness. C7 consciousness is like Jesus. Jesus is C7. It's like the universal consciousness, basically where the possibilities are infinite. You can literally bend matter. You can do anything. So basically it's like the world is our brain is a receiver. We're like antennas, and our brain is the receiver. And thoughts are not in our brain. Memories are not in our brain. They're in the consciousness field, and we're tuned into that consciousness field. And when we have mental illnesses, that's basically a tuning issue. Like, we're not tuning properly. We're at a low frequency, so we're not able to tune into that field of information. So when we go up and move up to higher C levels, C2, C3, C4, that means that you're literally expanding, you're raising the frequency, which is an actual frequency that can be measured, and you have access to all kinds of new information, and it just comes to you. And that's why people get downloads, and that's why people just know things sometimes, and they're like, I don't know how I know it, I just know it. And that's your C level. You know, people that can see through things, like, you know, they know that we're not walking around the outside of a spinning ball, and it's easy for them. You know, when they first heard about that, they were kind of like, oh, is that true? You know, and they looked into it and they researched it and they used evidence to formulate their conclusion. Those people are more on C2, C3 consciousness because they're not stuck in this physical manifestation. Basically, you know, the television and programming, they want to keep us in C1. That's why they do all these news stories. They do They have all this trauma. They're traumatizing everybody. You know, you got to think in 1986, you know, when they planned the Challenger explosion, basically what happened was they wheeled a television into every classroom in America. So not only did the Challenger explode, but they knew it was going to explode, and they wheeled a TV into every classroom so every child in America could watch it. And that traumatizes them. And when you get traumatized, that trauma literally affects your frequency level. So when you're at a lower frequency level, you're less powerful. You know what I mean? You have less ability. You know, you're easier to control and manipulate. You know, you're easier to just they'll give you a story and you believe it, and you'll go online and you'll argue with real people that are trying to expose the truth. And you're arguing saying, well, somebody died. What are you talking about? You know, that's not nice to say. As if because they told you a story about somebody dying, that means that they're exempt from examination. That's crazy. So that's just like the basics of it. But I'm still working on it. I'm perfecting it. And I'm going to break it all down and I'm going to present it all. You know, and this is for physicists, scientists. This is for regular people. You know, I want to put it out and I want to explain it in a way that's understandable to the layperson, but also there's mathematical formulas, so if somebody's a mathematician, they'll be able to actually use the math and they'll be able to double check the work. You know what I mean? Like there's a mathematical certainty of God. It's the source code of reality, and you're gonna hear it right here. So make sure you go to my YouTube, The Dusty Truth. It's literally at The Dusty Truth. And follow me on YouTube, because for some reason, if I ever got canceled here, you're gonna want this. This is going to blow your mind, and it's going to basically give you the understanding of reality, what it is, how it works, and sorry, I got a phone call and I got cut off. But basically, what you're gonna learn is what we are, who we are, where we are, why we're here, how it all works. And it's going to have scientific evidence and proof to back it up. An example of the proof is basically like what I'm gonna talk about. Near-death experiences, NDEs, and how you're flatlined but your consciousness is still active, or somebody who has dementia that suddenly is lucid and has a full grasp of consciousness right before they pass away. You know, and it's basically, it's like a tuning. It's, you know, when you have dementia, you're not tuned properly. Your frequencies, it's all messed up, you know. So everything is all about frequency, and consciousness is primacy. So, and I gotta tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. The information in this video is for entertainment purposes and is my opinion and my opinion only, and does not represent the opinion of anybody besides myself, unless otherwise expressed by them specifically. Alright, so thank you, have a nice day. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and go to my YouTube, follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Patreon. I don't charge money for my Patreon. I'm not here to make money, I'm just here to spread information. So you don't have to worry about paying for a subscription. I do have a subscription on my Patreon that's $1, but you don't even have to do it, and I don't even really post anything in there because I only have 4 followers on Patreon anyways. So with that said, peace out.